What is going on, friends? This past Friday, I took my 360 camera to the parks just so I can document some of the updates of all the scare zones and all the construction going on for Halloween Horror Nights. Now, of course, before any editing, the videos out of the 360 camera are going to look a little weird, but with a little post-production magic, doing a little keyframing, you get something that looks a little more like this. Not bad, right? Let's get another cool 360 shot, right? A little further up the scare zone. Doing a little movie magic, little keyframing, little editing. You can make it look like you've got your own production crew on a crane. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Also, just for my own sake, here's that same shot with a different edit. I don't want anyone to think I was anywhere I wasn't supposed to be. This is just editing plus a selfie stick, so. Alright, less about weird shots and editing. Let's get into it. Right as you enter the park, you'll notice that we've got a bunch of scaffolding up right outside of the main Universal Studios store. This is where we are expecting to have the Halloween Horror Nights logo sign hanging as we first enter the park. If you haven't been keeping up with the rumors, evidently we're not going to get the same red logo and font that we've been seeing in the years before. We might be getting a different color sign, so change is weird, but I'm excited. We'll see what it looks like when it's done. Walking straight through the park. By day is Minions Land. This is where we're going to see the origins of horror. Pretty cool setup. Little maybe miniature stages for performers. I feel like it's going to be a lot of photo ops here. Definitely looks just like the key art, you know, spoopy gargoyles. I don't know. Looks cool by day. I'm sure it's going to look awesome at night, so excited for this one. Now, if we were to have gone right into the Hollywood section of the park rather than going straight, we would have been brought directly to the Masquerade Dance with Death. They're already covering stuff with tarps, which means there's got to be something gross and grisly that they don't want daytime park guests seeing, so that's pretty cool. Again, looks pretty cool during the day with what's already out there. I'm super excited to see this scare zone with stage lighting, fog, performers. I think this one's going to look really cool at night as well. Kind of noticing vines throughout all the scare zones, which is pretty cool. I'm sure they're going to do a better job of showing how that interacts all the scare zones to one cohesive story. But we got vines. I like this champagne waterfall situation we got going over here. Maybe it'll be filled with blood at night. Obviously, no Horror Nights update isn't complete without hitting the 5 and dine. Tons of new merch out. We've got some restocks of merch from the past. So again, if there's anyone that's trying to rush you into buying stuff, saying things are going to sell out, they're full of shit. There's been tons of restocks. Long sleeve Wyatt 6 shirt looks pretty sick. Also starting to see some of our street experiences getting some merch as well. Again, I'm really not sure what's going to be the difference between a street experience versus a scare zone, but the fact that we've got Mel's dying and zombies printed on merch in their own section within the store is pretty exciting. Any HHN merch drop is not complete without copious amounts of our boy Little Boo. Also, if you're collecting that limited edition poster with poster pieces that they're doing for all the IP houses, again, people have been saying they've been sold out. They've literally restocked all of the IPs when I was there, so they're at the store. Check out the 5 and dine if you want to. Got some updates around the lagoon where we normally have a themed bar. We're already starting to see some of the TVs going out, which what will assumably be used for menus, but cool to see we've got another heavily themed bar coming right by the lagoon. Right outside everybody's favorite ride and what can only be described as the best attraction in the history of themed entertainment, right outside of Fast and Furious, we have what is going to again be a street experience called Club Horror. We've got what looks like a DJ booth set up. Already seeing some of the food stalls too. We've got themed food stalls for Fallout with Vault 33. Right next door, we also have what looks to be the themed food for the Wyatt 6. It looks just like the set piece from a segment that they would do on the WWE, which is the Firefly Funhouse. It's fun to say. Super cool. That bit was wacky for its time. Definitely like a weird, surreal Mr. Rogers in like a demonic state. Check out If you have no idea, you're not hyping this house, just Google like Firefly Funhouse. It's pretty wacky. There's going to be themed WWE food in a Universal park. I'm pretty excited about that. Also got the Clown Cafe from Terrifier 2. It looks just, I knew what it was just walking around the New York section of the park. It was crazy to see that. I'm sure the food is going to be delicious. I'm sure it's going to look disgusting. But again, it is wild to me that in the same park that I can get Trolls ice cream during the day, I'm going to be able to ingest some Art the Clown / Terrifier food at night during Horror Nights. So that's insane. One of the biggest updates that I saw, walking through the entire New York over by where the Mummy is, that whole kind of thoroughfare and what is lovingly referred to as Sting Alley, there is tons of set pieces out for Mutations, Toxic 20s. Got an old newsstand where there's newspapers explaining what happened, kind of again explaining that lore of the scare zone, which I've explained a little bit with some of the descriptions in a previous video. If you're interested to get more of an explanation of all these scare zones, we'll put a link to that video that's somewhere on the screen. Really cool nods to houses in the past, things like BuzzCon from the old Bugs house. If you look really close, there's also references to Monstros in the newspaper articles. But yeah, tons of stages. It looks like there's going to be a lot of like fog effects underneath some of these stages, but tons of stages. There's old-timey cars, which is really cool. Love to see the origins of the scare zone, right? Like it's supposed to be a 1920s mobsters were trying to get away and they crashed into this other truck that was carrying all this toxic waste. You can literally see the crash right outside of Jimmy Fallon's, so pretty excited. It looks amazing. The zone looks insane. So again, like it looks good during the day with not all of the set pieces out. I'm very excited to see what this looks like at night with more set pieces, with performers, with stage lighting, with fog. This scare zone is going to be awesome. And if you're in this cast, if you do like a over the top, like I want like, nah, see, like an old timey, I'm going to spend a lot of time in this scare zone. Let's bring it home by walking through the cat lady of Crooked Lane. Even as of, time of recording, this was on Friday, August 8th. I would say this scare zone looks to be done. So if they add even more, it's going to look even better. But I would say as far as scare zones, this one looks to be near complete. There are tons of random, weird, kitschy, neighborhoody, creepy, like it looks like somebody that is a hardcore hoarder and obviously a cat lady has just left their crap all over the streets. The streets is always in the whole Central Park area. This area is always really claustrophobic and confined. So even to see it with all this junk all over it, it looks awesome. So again, at night, I think it's gonna look great. I do fear for anyone that's been here for a while, there's been a few years where a little too much fog in this area. So I'm hoping it's just more well lit with all the pumpkins and not as much fog. I'm excited. I mean, the house set piece at the end of the street looks amazing. The fact that there's like this separate miniature walkthrough where there's spaces for performers and scare actors to come at you from all sides. This thing's gonna look awesome at night. I'm really excited to see this scare zone at night. And while there wasn't a lot of set pieces out in Diagon Alley, there's a few boxes. There's definitely going to be a few good photo ops places for them to hide fog machines. But let's not forget that the Death Eaters are also having their own kind of street experience, if you will. But it's like a miniature show / scare zone. So if you're into that sort of thing, I would try to get there early. I feel like they leave by like 10. They do not stay late. The Death Eaters clearly have work the next day, so they're usually not there super late. So if you are wanting to experience the Death Eaters, be sure to get there earlier in your night. So yeah, that's all the construction updates as of Friday, August 8th. They're doing away with the Stay&Scream holding areas this year. So that was a rumor for a while back in the day. There used to be holding areas, and to kind of short Reader's Digest explain what Stay&Scream is. Basically, if you have either admission to the park the day that you're visiting Halloween Horror Nights, if you have a annual pass that also allows you access that day, or you can purchase a Scream Early ticket, which allows you into the Universal Park a few hours before the start of Halloween Horror Nights. You used to be able to scan your daytime admission into the park and then your Halloween Horror Nights admission into one of really 3 separate holding areas. Now, the issues with these holding areas is as time progressed, they were getting busier and busier. There's one in the New York section of the park, but mainly by Finnegan's, and most of that holding area was just barricaded into that one street in between Sting Alley and Finnegan's. And the problem with that is in Central Florida, especially in the first half of the season, it is hot AF. And then there's also showers. It usually rains at least once, if not multiple times a night in the first few months of Horror Nights. So people were stuck either out in the sun, out in the rain. It was kind of a cool way to get in 1 or 2 houses before the main doors open for everyone else. Think of it kind of like early park admission for Horror Nights. But being stuck in a pendant area while they were clearing out the daytime guests was not awesome. So with the new system, it looks like we're just gonna go in early. There'll be check-in locations similar to where some of the old Stay&Scream check-ins were. So if you go by Finnegan's, if you go by Minions Cafe, there's another one. We'll maybe put a picture somewhere. You're just gonna go into the park before the park closes. So if a park closes at 5 p.m., as long as you get in by 4:55, get in before the park gates close, scan into the park with your daytime admission, then go to one of these check-in areas, show them your Halloween Horror Nights admission for the night, or your Frequent Fear Pass, your Russia Fear Pass, whatever pass you've got. Scan in with your Horror Nights at the check-in location. They'll give you a wristband and you can just walk around the park and enjoy whatever that is open. So it'll be cool. I'm very excited. I think it's going to be a complete cluster for the staff the first few weeks. It's going to be really hard for the security team. They would do like a sweep of the park and kind of make sure they're pushing all the daytime guests out. Now it's just going to be people. It'll be interesting. I think it's going to be really good from an experience from a guest perspective. I think it's going to be a little bit difficult for the staff. So with all things, as a former team member and performer myself, be fucking nice, be nice the first few days, if not few weeks of the event. It's a seasonal event, so they're getting new information as the event is evolving. So just go in with an open mind. Don't lose your shit if the wristband system doesn't work well the first few nights. They're trying something new. It's for us. They're helping it for us. So that's it. All the information we have. You've seen it. We're going to do at least one more update before the event. So yeah, do all the YouTube things if you made it this far. I appreciate you. I've said it in previous videos, but I did get the regular Frequent Fear Pass this year. Frequent Fear with Express just got a little too rich for my taste, so I'll be hanging out with all you normies this year. So if you're going to be at the event, I'm going to have free stickers with me the entire run of the event. So hit me up here, hit me up on social. Let's get connected. I'll be giving out free high fives and free stickers all season long. Let's see you guys. We'll see you in the fog. Like, share, subscribe, do all the YouTube things. Subscribe, like, share. Watch another video while you're here. Let me know what you think. If there's something else, if there's some questions you have, if it's your first time going, let me know in the comments. I'll put it in my pro tip video. If not, we're gonna probably do one more construction update before the event, and then yeah, in less than 3 weeks we'll be at Halloween Horror Nights.